have now claimed at least 82 lives, and officials fear that number may still rise. Kerr County alone accounts for 68 fatalities, including 28 children, mostly from the devastated camp Mystic Girls River Camp. The missing toll stands at now 41, including 10 campers still unaccounted for, as rescue teams work around the clock in hopes of finding survivors. Governor Greg Abbott warned of more life-threatening rain through Tuesday, with flash flood alerts still active across the region. The breakdown of confirmed deaths includes as follows. Kerr County now have 68, Travis County now has a tally of 6, Burnett County 4, Kendall County 2, Tom Green and Williamson County each 1. And President Trump has also signed a major disaster declaration for Kerr County and said that he may visit the area on Friday. Trump called the scene, quote, absolutely horrible, and said, God bless all those who have gone through so much. Former Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama also offered condolences. Bush's wife Laura, a former Camp Mystic counselor, said they were holding up our fellow Texans who are hurting. But the disaster also sparked questions, with criticism over understaffing and budget cuts at the National Weather Service. The White House fiercely denied those claims, calling reports of staff shortages disgusting and politically motivated. As questions mount, Kerrville City officials have promised a full review of the emergency response. But tonight, the priority remains on finding the missing, as first responders, volunteers and families hold on to hope. We're now joined by Glenn Grant, who's an ex-advisor to Ukrainian Defence Minister. He joins us live from Riga, Latvia, to comment on this situation further. Glenn, Donald Trump has responded to this tragedy and said he is extremely sorry. He also hasn't confirmed that he will visit the affected areas, but said that he might and is thinking of it. Do you think these questions over emergency response and budget cuts under the Department of Government Efficiency are acceptable? Also, Donald Trump's climate stance is very well known. Do you think that this situation will cause more questions to be asked over that?
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of the neutral commentators say that this couldn't have been forecast in the way that it was, and that also that they do not see that there was anything out of ordinary in terms of the actual warnings coming. The trouble with this sort of area, Texas always gets bad weather. And this southern part, of course, being close to the Gulf, gets particularly bad weather because you remember the hurricanes come round there regularly. And where these rivers start is in very, very narrow valleys, which means that if there's heavy rain, it just drops down into the valley and whoosh, down it comes, and which it did. So you know, they got trouble. They got trouble. Now, I don't think in cases like that you can actually respond any quicker than they seem to respond for this. I mean, there were people on the ground immediately. So I think that any comments, I'm inclined to agree that any comments are a bit political. You can't do much when a river rises 29 feet. I mean, I've seen rivers that have risen half of that in UK, and there's nothing anybody can do.
Yes, Glenn, I just want to play some visuals now before we move on to our next story. As you've mentioned, the 29 feet that the river rose in such a short amount of time, causing so much catastrophic damage and tragedy across the region. As you're seeing, we're playing those visuals right now. Scenes, very tragic scenes, and the scale of the power of the water, as we can see there now. We now move on to our next story. We will continue to bring you every single update that we can in that developing situation in Texas.